that you and I, after the end of our life here on earth, seen not only as disciples, but as apostles of Jesus. Now, what is discipleship all about? Probably you might have heard of the story of Sonia, the great Russian spy. She thought to be the greatest spy of the century. She had an interview with a journalist, and Sonia, when she was young, was beautiful. She was very brilliant, and she walked all around the world, charming diplomats and getting their secrets, returning them dutifully, the KGB. Now, the KGB is only letters on printed page. Sonia is old. She has no money. She has no friends. So the interviewer asked her, "What are you going to do?" She looked down, sad, and responded, "I don't know where to go or who to turn to." She had placed all her faith. She has labored for an ideal, for an institution that has turned out to be false. Not so with you and I who are Christians, who are disciples of Jesus, because Jesus Christ is not an ideal, it's not an institution, it's a person. And Jesus Christ is the same today, yesterday, and forever. To be a disciple of Jesus, there is something that you and I must do. Number one, we must listen. All of religion is about listening. Right from the beginning of the Bible stories, we hear of Abraham being called when he was way after 75 years old. An old man being called by God to follow him. Abraham listened and left his home and property to follow Jesus. Now you also hear of Moses, who was about 40 years old when he had his call. Moses, a young man of his prime age, also listened. There's also the story of a little boy, Samuel, who listened to the word of God so much that he said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." So religion is all about listening. You have to listen to the voice of God and act upon those words. But my dear friend, listening is not just with the ear. No. It is with the inner ear, the heart. If you spell the word heart, there is an inner ear. H-E-A-R-T. There is an inner ear. God calls you to listen with that inner ear of yours, with your heart. Not just with your outer ears, the ones we see, but the inner ear. To listen with the inner ear will mean that you discern the voice of God and act upon them. So that is one of the requirements of being a disciple. You must be ready to listen. To listen to whatever voice God tells you, whatever God tells you, accept it and follow. There is also another element to being a faithful disciple. You must follow him. They are told, as we started, that these disciples, when they listened to Jesus' words, they got up and followed him. To follow Jesus means to walk in his footsteps. Remember the story of a man and his little boy, one day walking after there had been a heavy downpour of rain. The place was muddy. So the boy was walking with the father. After a while, the father couldn't find the boy, so he was wondering whether the boy has fallen down or something. So he called out to the boy, "Where are you, my son?" The boy said, "Daddy, I'm right behind you. I'm walking in your footsteps." That was a brilliant thing the boy did, because if he walked in his father's footsteps, he was sure that he wouldn't fall. His father goes and he follows. That is what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. You must follow him. You must walk behind him in his footsteps. Follow Jesus doesn't mean walk ahead of him, never, to tell him what to do and what not to do. Jesus is not saying tell him what to do and what not to do, to direct him. He didn't say walk ahead of me. It also doesn't mean to walk side by side with Jesus. No. To think with him, to suggest to him. No. You are not there to compare with Jesus, to suggest to Jesus. Follow him means walk after him, behind him. So he does the decisions. Not you, not I.
Society of African Missions, SMA, invites you to the official opening of the new SMA regional headquarters here in Ghana. 4th October 2014. Venue, Amamole Estate, near Ablekuma, Accra. 9 o'clock a.m. prompt. Motto, to be a missionary from the bottom of my heart. Good morning, viewers. Today I have with me Very Reverend Father James Owusu Yeboah, Regional Superior, SMA Ghana. Father, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Father, please tell us who the SMAs are.
The SMA is an Institute of Apostolic